He's tripled his testosterone in 3 months just through practicing abstinence. So here's an observation I've made in relation to modern man's predicament. Why he's miserable, why he's experiencing all these negative emotions, these lower negative emotions, shame, apathy, guilt, depression, and all the neurotic tendencies that you can throw into there as well. You've got your stress as well. So in short, he's having PMS. Let me explain that in just a moment. It is the feminization, or should I say the estrogenization of
W for this guy's YouTube progression. We watched the video of him literally 20 minutes ago. You saw it with his like patchy beard and everything, little whiteboard behind him. Now, holy fuck, look at the difference of his video quality now. Look at that editing and everything.
It is the
I love seeing this, man.
Or should I say the estrogen.
I love seeing YouTubers level up like this, bro. You see like their progression over time with like, it's literally such a beautiful thing to see like a YouTuber's content just getting better and better through their channel. Like if you watch some of my old videos and you compare them, holy fuck.
Of men, which is contributing to a substantial amount of the negative experience that we as men might be experiencing day to day. Now, this follows a previous video I did on the notion of a hormone war. There is a war, gentlemen, against testosterone. It's estrogen versus testosterone. Unfortunately, the former is seeming to be prevailing at the moment because a lot of these socio-political issues that you're seeing at the moment, I really feel stem from just an imbalance of our biology, an imbalance of our hormonal profile. And also, it is the absence or shallow understanding of the influences testosterone have in our blood, which, if we understood, is the solution to our problem, and we would really be focusing a lot more due diligently on optimizing that hormonal profile. So let me give it to you in this particular video. The competition chemical. Now, it's not really a chemical, it's more a hormone, but I kind of enjoy the heading as it's grounded as what you and I as a man should really value out of the experience of having higher testosterone. Look, beyond the surface level characteristics of testosterone, and we can talk about, increased muscle bulk, we can talk about deeper voice, we can talk about, all these kinds of things, but it is the predisposition for our competitive behavior which sets us apart from the opposite sex.
I like that. So he's just said one of the biggest effects of testosterone is you are more likely to engage in competitive behavior. The scientist Andrew Huberman has a nice statement which I've liked, which is that the biggest effect of testosterone is that it makes effort feel good. Think about that statement. The biggest impact of testosterone is that it makes effort feel good. Think about how fucking nice that would be. That effort for you, whether in the gym or in your work or in social skills or approaching that woman, would literally feel pleasant. It would feel pleasant to go and work hard. Think about how nice that would be. Maybe, all these anime profile motherfuckers that I've been like laughing at and everything, maybe it's as simple as just telling them all, yeah, you've probably got low testosterone. The reason why these guys are spending 2 hours a day watching anime and playing video games is because they don't enjoy work and being productive. I couldn't imagine being sat there for 2 hours at the end of the day just trying to unwind. Oh, I've had a hard day. Time to play some video games to rest. Shut up, bro. If I need to rest, I go to sleep. If I need to rest, I go to sleep. But if I've still got more time and energy for the day, you bet your ass that I'm being productive. I'm researching my goals. If I don't have much energy, yeah, I'll lie down and I'll research my goals on I'll read on my Kindle or something. But I'm still being productive. Effort feels good when you've got high testosterone. It feels good to work. These guys who are like, oh, well, anime, that's simply, they only chase pleasure and entertainment simply because work doesn't feel good for them because they've got low testosterone.
This is the fundamental characteristics of testosterone that only a lesser evolved man overlooks. It is the divine variable that makes you and me a king. Okay, so let me dispense with the description for a moment for the sake of a more factual and intellectual discussion. What am I saying? I'm saying that testosterone not only builds muscle, it not only burns fat, and heightens masculine characteristics. Of course. What I'm saying is that it also negates negative emotion. It negates the feelings of apathy, of shame, of guilt that many of us experience on a day-to-day basis. And it also increases how compelling you find competitive behavior. Guys, what I mean is that an individual that is experiencing high testosterone experiences pleasure in competitive tasks, building businesses, lifting heavy weights, practicing martial arts.
That's nice. So he just said the same thing as Andrew Tate then. The more testosterone you have, the more pleasure and happiness and feel-good emotions you will get from competitiveness and working hard. How fucking nice, bro. When your testosterone levels aren't fucked, you want to work hard. When your testosterone levels aren't fucked, you don't want to play video games or whatever. You literally just think to yourself, like, why would I waste an hour of my time acting like a normal, average, modern man when I can just go keep working on my business, on my fitness, on my goals?
Getting up early in the cold hours of the morning to go for a 5K run, approaching beautiful women. All these tasks have an element of competition. And like I say, the reason that a lot of you might look at those particular habits and think, yes, I want to do that kind of shit every single day. And the reason you're experiencing resistance or a lack of consistency into integrating them into your lifestyle isn't because you're lazy or isn't because you're unmotivated. It is because your testosterone is low. So instead of trying to develop discipline, And consistency, which again I'm not against, it has a fundamental role in the actualization of your higher self. It's going to be so much easier to integrate those kind of characteristics into your lifestyle if biology is on your side. Let's talk about tripling testosterone through SR. So here's what a lot of you want to know. You want to know what are the effects of semen retention on testosterone? And the answer is a significant one. A significant effect happens on your testosterone profile when you stop jerking off, when you stop releasing your semen needlessly, when you stop living a promiscuous lifestyle. So recently somebody forwarded me a very interesting case study. The case study was predicated on the effects of free base testosterone levels on an individual that would abstain from ejaculation for 300 days with the lab results. And I'm going to show you those results right now. So guys, what I'm going to do, because I want to give all credit to the creator here, is I'm going to link the story in the description below. Please go and read it for yourself. But you know, if you'd like me to read it, I'm going to do that here. That's what you all came here for. So this individual thought he would go ahead and post his testosterone blood drawn results from his last streak, which lasted about 302 days. He's gone from masturbating once every 4 days on average for the last 15 years straight to going without any porn, no masturbation, no sex. He also remarks that he was single throughout this period. Now, you know, he kind of mentioned here by happenstance that he found that he did a free-based testosterone lab result test prior to learning about semen retention. He stumbled onto some of my content, some other people's content, and the notion of semen retention and the practice, and he just thought, you know, why don't I do like a little experiment on myself?
Oh,
and see.
by the way, if you don't know, the most common cited study of semen retention and nofap on testosterone is that there is a 140% increase. Or your testosterone goes up to 140%, which means that it goes up by 40%, which means that it goes up by like 0.4 or 1.4 times. So if your testosterone is 500 nanograms per deciliter on average, after 1 week of nofap, it could potentially be, at least cited in this one particular study that's like very commonly used to discuss nofap and testosterone, you could see a increase to 700. So potentially, if you are on 500 nanograms of testosterone per deciliter, you know, whatever the metric is for total testosterone, and you know, free testosterone, we expect it to be relative or whatever, but of course there can be differences and sciencey fucking jargon and shit, but just roughly, if you're on roughly 500, then maybe you could go up to about 700 after a week of nofap and semen retention and everything. But interestingly, what that study found was that after about a week, the effect on testosterone from nofap actually starts to diminish, and it goes back down again to just above base level. So it's interesting that your testosterone not spikes, but gradually increases by about 40%, and then after that it kind of like slows back down. So it's almost like it goes up pretty substantially to kind of tell you like, bro, come on, let's fuck, come on, let's get it. And then when you've not had sex for about a week, it kind of realizes like, oh yeah, he's a loser, just take it away, he doesn't really need it. That's so far the major cited study that people use to discuss nofap and semen retention and testosterone. And this isn't exactly a study, this is just, you know, some Redditor's account, and he might be lying and whatever, but hopefully we can take some learning lessons from it.
See what happens to my free-base testosterone. So he's already had lab results of when he was in that kind of degenerate lifestyle, and then he's done a free-base lab result every single month into that 300-day streak. So what he's done is he's got the results right here, so you can kind of see on my screen. This is the lab test taken in August, 2 months before the beginning of the streak. This first free-based testosterone test he's ever taken, and as you can see, he's barely above the normal range established by the algorithm for men his age, and he's 28 at 68 pg/ml. And pg/ml just stands for picograms per milliliter. So 68 picograms per milliliter. And like he's mentioned, that's just above low on this particular company. So now this individual is taking another test, and this was during No Nut November, which is the first month of his streak. And he's climbed up, you know, substantial markers. You know, it's gone from 68 to 114, and he's right in the middle, what we consider normal. Now, here's where things get interesting, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen, no any ladies in here. So these lab results are from December, and this was around the second month into his streak. And as you can see, he's now above the upper range of normal for men his age. So 212, gone from 68 to 212 in 2 months. And then we've got next month, third month, January 2022, slightly higher than previous month at 226. And I believe that's actually the peak results he's got here. So he's gone from, you know, if we want to do it properly, let's say 3 months, he's gone from 68 picograms per milliliter to 212. So he's tripled his testosterone in 3 months just through practicing abstinence. He does go on to include more results. You can see here, we've got 226, and then February he's gone down a little bit, 171, still, you know, pretty high, still pretty high. And then he's gone back 197 next month. He's gone back down to 179 in April. He's gone back up to 201. And of course, there's going to be fluctuations depending on lifestyle and other characteristics that we just can't control, of course. And then he does have quite a significant dip in July, but he did note here, so 8th month of his streak. But he did take a break from weightlifting. So he wasn't lifting weights in this month, which, you know, is also credence to the fact that you have to transmute that sexual energy. You have to be lifting weights. You have to be exercising, because that's made a significant difference. Still significantly higher than when he was masturbating. You know, he's still doubled his testosterone with the integration of abstinence into his life without lifting weights, which is hugely significant. So I just want to say very quickly, thank you so much to this creator. This individual is called Anu House. Probably butchered that, but please go and read it for yourself. It's a very interesting study. I think it's more credence to the fact that, you know, many people are skeptical about doing this journey. Will it increase my testosterone? Will I get the results you want? It's a big sacrifice maybe some of you have to make, but, you know, I think whenever porn's concerned, there isn't really much of a sacrifice to make. Now let's talk about just the benefits of being masculine. Now, semen retention benefits seem to be conflated with some kind of esoteric idea of getting closer to God, and I do believe there is a lot of rationality towards that claim. But I think a lot of you who are rationally minded, who believe in science, who believe in the literature, who believe in evidence, should take what I've just shown you so seriously. If an individual's testosterone levels are doubling and tripling just through abstinence, we should be taking notice of that. Those are significant results. And I think it might be more accurate to say that the results or the benefits of semen retention aren't attributed to this esoteric idea, but I do believe there is a narrative there, but more to the fact that you're increasing your testosterone levels. And with that, like I mentioned, higher quality emotions, you know, less apathy, less guilt, less shame, less depression, more joy.
It seems realistic to think that if you go onto semen retention, you go onto NoFap, and you're just not busting nuts at all, that your testosterone would rise because your body would want to symbolize to you, like, we have this excess energy, let's put it into use. Either let's go have sex right now, so it will skyrocket your libido, and if it realizes, okay, we're not having sex for some reason, he's still retaining his seed, then the way I've always seen it is that your body and your mind and your soul will kind of just subtly make you more likely to go and do the productive things that it knows for a fact that would result in you being able to attract more women. So either, as long as you're not busting nuts, you'll find a desire to have sex will go up, and if you're not having sex, you'll find that the desire to do the things that will improve you as a man to attract the women to have sex with go up. I think your brain and your body and your soul are incredibly intelligent. Very interesting.
More courage, more peace, more enlightenment. And then you're starting to increase your competitive behavior from some of those habits that you want integrated into your lifestyle, which we're all seeking to do. So it's more accurate to say it's testosterone benefits. It's benefits of being a masculine man, of course. So guys, I really believe that this is the most compelling evidence that we've come across in our community so far. Go and give some love to the creator, and go share it with other people, and certainly go and practice what this guy's preaching. I know
First man has a testosterone video recently.
We've got a bunch of products here at First Man. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I want to do a testosterone increasing tier list. There's a lot of conflicted information out there. A lot of people saying, oh, there's this one thing that you can do that will increase your testosterone.
First man looking jacked recently, isn't he? Fucking look at the shape on him, and fucking lean as fuck. Marshall, you gotta respect this guy, bro. He's got videos of him on his channel looking like scratched up, little shitty beard, skinny neck and everything. Videos of him 2 years ago saying he was gonna achieve everything that he has recently achieved. You've got to respect him for that, man. This guy has literally made videos that you can see on his channel 2 years ago where he was literally saying, okay, these are my goals, I'm gonna achieve them before the time I'm age 30. He just hit age 30 and he achieved everything he said he was gonna achieve. I fucking respect that, man.
Complete bullshit, as you guys know. So I'm just going to give you a list of what I think is like the
okay guys, we have a bunch of products here.
main things that you can do. And I'm reading it off my phone, but what I will do in post-edit is create an actual chart that looks pretty decent. I might pay somebody to make something really nice, like an
testosterone increasing tier list. Tier 1. So the tier 1 is like, okay, the most basic shit. Make sure you get enough water, healthy fats, low stress, sunlight and stuff. Tier 2 is the smaller thing. Masturbation, fluoride, osmosis, cleaning products, low alcohol. I'd put alcohol in number 1 actually. Environment, natural booster, shower head filter, being around women / having sex, being around competitive men. Tier 3, receipts, plastic bottles, multivitamins, screen and TV and chlorine.
Infographics, so you guys can actually keep it, share it around, whatever. This is what I think is like if I thought for longer, I might have come up with some more things, but this is what I think the basics are, okay, on different levels. Now, I think the important thing to do is start with tier 1. Like, tier 1 is the basics of life. And this is what people often get wrong. They're like, but what about this one thing? Like, for example, I'm creating a men's body wash, testosterone friendly. Using that body wash every day will have an effect on your testosterone levels. Will it be the main thing? No. And this is the problem. Is people are like, it's that one testosterone, it's that one toothpaste that contains fluoride. Look, the main thing, you can do all the worst things to your testosterone levels, and your testosterone levels will still be high if you do everything that's in tier 1, because these are the basic, like, foundational qualities of testosterone that is required to keep it high, okay? So this is like your 80-20 rule. If you do these, this is like the 80%.
Yeah, I respect him for saying that, man. He sells like testosterone supplements and everything, but I respect him for literally just saying, yep, the 80-20 rule, the 80% of like most important things is literally just these basic ass, you know, the things that you've always heard which affect testosterone, but it's always like an unsexy answer of like, yeah, like just sleep and exercise and have a decent diet and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, these things are going to be the most valuable by far. It's usually kind of upsetting when you read a list like this, because you're like, oh man, like I do all of them anyway, so there's not, you know, much more that I can do to optimize my testosterone.
The next one is lifting weights, especially compound lifts, heavy weights, etc. We all know this. Like, if you've got low testosterone or low energy,
lift heavy weights for testosterone is very, very overrated. I don't think maybe Chris Firstman hasn't really seen the studies on this. I've looked into the studies of weightlifting, and like I'm a fucking gym bro. Do you know what I mean? I'd be telling you guys, oh yeah, like get into the gym for testosterone, bro. The amount of guys who tell you like, oh yeah, lift heavy weights for testosterone, it's so overblown. There's a very small increase in testosterone if you go and lift weights, and it's so small and acute. And acute means it's so like insignificant. It's so short term that by the time you finish your workout, the testosterone increase has actually went down. And if you do a normal like full-on bro kind of workout, compound deadlifts and accessories and 1 hour workout, 1.5 hour workout, your testosterone will actually go down from weightlifting. No one actually says this. This is like one of the most controversial things for me to ever say to a bunch of gym bros who are so certain. Your testosterone is going down from most weightlifting routines. It's just the nature of things that the cortisol spike after a 1 hour, 1.5 hour workout is going to plummet your testosterone. The amount of people who say the oh, you know, like lift heavy weights to get testosterone, it's not true, bro. It's really not true. Maybe the only real way, if you just wanted to improve your testosterone, is come into the gym and do literally 1 to 3 sets of either squats or deadlifts and then go home. But no one's doing that. Literally no one's doing that. Everyone's coming to the gym and then doing a full length workout routine. And if you're doing a full length, you know, push pull legs, full body, upper lower split, whatever, and I do them as well, you know, if you're doing the kind of workout routine that's good for building muscle and strength, your testosterone's going to go down because your cortisol hormone spikes up, and then the recovery time just is going to fuck up your testosterone. Someone here has asked a very good question. He said, his name's Hudis, but isn't that just the short term? Wouldn't it elevate over time? I've always thought your testosterone will elevate over time that you go to the gym, not necessarily just because you've been weightlifting in the gym, but more so for the lifestyle that it puts you in, because naturally, this is, you know, this is a far-fetched and you can't scientifically prove this, but I would assume naturally a guy who gets consistent into weightlifting is also going to start to then improve the other parts of his health, like sleeping enough and dieting and stuff. He's also going to become more attractive, then he's going to attract more girls and have more sex and speak to more people. He's going to become more competitive. So somewhat there is almost like an indirect benefit on your testosterone levels from weightlifting and becoming aesthetic and muscular and attractive. But at least in the short term, when people say like, oh yeah, well, you know, heavy weights for testosterone, not necessarily, bro. Really not necessarily. The kind of workout that you do in the gym is not going to improve your testosterone, although it might have an indirect effect because of the rest of your life that kind of gets structured when you become a gym bro and you're thinking about sleep and diet and everything. What do you guys think about that? Because every time I've always heard someone say like, oh well, you know, I like, you know, lift heavy weights for testosterone, heavy compound lifting for testosterone. I'm like, you've not. I wonder if I can find the study as well. Jeff Nippard talks about it actually. We'll see from him. Let me show you something. No one has ever really discussed this. Jeff Nippard briefly mentioned it. No like gym bro fitness guy wants to really talk about this because it's so like antithetical for what we think testosterone is about.
Training
there.
Of weekly injections, they were up around 3,000 nanograms per deciliter. That's an enormous increase, magnitudes greater than the acute changes you see from altering.
Yeah. So this is what happens from heavy weightlifting. You see that your testosterone goes up quite significantly, but then it drops down within your workout space. But then what's interesting, this study stopped here, so 60 minutes in, after lifting heavy weights, your testosterone went down anyway. I actually think after doing a full workout routine, and this is proven by some, maybe I can find the other studies, that your testosterone after doing a big weightlifting workout routine would actually go lower than baseline because of recovery.
And this is the more consensus view in the current scientific literature, as more recent data from Weston colleagues out of McMaster University concluded that post-exercise increases in these hormones cannot be used as proxy markers for hypertrophic potential in human skeletal muscle. And if you just look at some of their data, it's clear that despite the fact that testosterone did increase with a training protocol that emphasized high intensity and large muscle masses, there was no difference in muscle protein synthesis between the groups. And just keep in mind that the increases in testosterone were acute, meaning they didn't get elevated from the training and stay elevated. They simply spiked up and then came back down after an hour.
Yeah, so in other words, lifting weight increases your testosterone for quite literally 10 to 15 minutes, and after that it goes back to baseline. And if you've done a normal gym bro workout routine, you know, 1 hour long weightlifting routine, then your testosterone will probably dip below baseline, although we can somewhat hope and guess that after the long term of weightlifting and, you know, being in the health culture of lifting and building muscle and improving your sleep to make more gains, your testosterone will probably rise because you're automatically becoming healthier when you get into like a weightlifting lifestyle.